Yo, what is up, guys? William from Gaming World here. I cannot waste no time at all. So, let's get down to the premise of this video. Ow. I'm here to make the first game review. And that guy needs to die. So, I'm basically going to give it out of 5-star rating. And I have 4 things I rate. Content, mechanics, not necessarily realism, what's it called? Premise of the game, so kind of like the plot, the story, etc. And another thing, likability, and price does include in that. So, let's get on to it. So, first thing I said was I'm going to run it on content. Now, this game, I understand, free game, but I ain't going to go into the price just yet. It doesn't really have too much content, but it does have a diverse arsenal of weapons, though it could use a bit more on melee. And frankly, on content, I will say this. Some parts of it I do not like, and that's why I'm in this area, because there are buildings that you can't go into. And it's pretty much wasting map space. So, there are plenty of buildings like that. And note, I will do the Ultimate Edition of this game later, just not now. So, I think in all for content, I would have to give this a 3-star, because for medical, you got, well, for light, other than the weak flashlight, all you got is road flares and glow sticks. And there are 2 versions of the bat, crowbar. Like, weapons, I'll give it that, but everything else, it's just not that diverse. Unless you're talking about barriers, then in that case, you do have barbed wire, ground barrier, and sandbags. Actually, I guess I could bump it up to a 3.5 now, because I forgot about all the different deployables. But, oh yeah, and the nifty little radio. I'll get to talking about the radio in just a second. So 3.5 stars on content. Now, another thing I would just like to get out there. Next is mechanics. This game, I already told you guys a little bit in my playthrough, is that this game has some pretty interesting mechanics. Like a bleeding effect, SOS radio, and how different deployables can be used to cover your path when you're running away, just like I am about to do now. And also how some barriers can actually keep zombies at bay. Now, another mechanic is the wave mechanic. Nice element for survival progression games. And honestly, I love survival progression games, so I'm going to try not to let my bias go like that. But another mechanic I like is the SOS package mechanic, because it gives you a wide variety of stuff that you might not have yet. Oh, and it allows you to get a taste of what you're missing, kind of. And due to that, it allows you to preview items to let you know if you want to buy them in the future. Also, the nighttime mechanic. And I think that's pretty good, because a lot of games, it stays the same time. And the same time, it can get kind of dull. At the same time, it can get kind of dull. And honestly, games that have the same time, don't get me wrong, those games can be fun if it is not meant to be continuous. This game is indeed meant to be continuous. I like the fact that it has nighttime. And another mechanic is sound. And the sound mechanic, it adds realism. It adds realism to the game, because you're... Ow. Well, I guess I'm going to jump to this mechanic. but the sound mechanic puts realism into zombie apocalypse, because zombies are attracted to sound. I did not want to reload, but zombies are attracted to sound, thus gunshots will most likely draw attention. And the bleeding mechanic. And the bandage mechanic, it kind of helps too, because the bandage mechanic allows bleeding to not be so OP in terms for good news for the zombies. And another mechanic I would like to get to is the backpack mechanic. In the backpack mechanic, zombies can carry backpacks, which contain useful items, which in some cases you might have to loot a dead body during a zombie apocalypse to scavenge items. So I find that quite interesting. I'll give this game a 5-star on mechanics for having realistic lifetime scenario items implemented to the game. Next, we have content, likability. Shoot, what was the third one? I'm gonna go to likability. Likability. This game is free, and for a free game, as I said, diverse arsenal of weapons, bunch of good realistic mechanics, and it is actually kind of fun. I mean, it's fun to just go around, test your skills in surviving, and plus for an FPS shooter, free with this quality of graphics. I mean, Doom does have good graphics for being free, if you're talking about the original Doom that is shareware, but it is also not the best graphic in terms of three-dimensional. This, I mean, free 3D basic graphics, it's pretty good. So for likability, due to the low price, the premise of the game, the story of the game, that is what I forgot, but I will stop.
Can I come in?
Yeah.
More clothes for you, baby.
Oh, thank you. Just send them on the bed, that's fine.
Okay, baby.
I'll take care of them later.
Okay, sweetie.
And the premise of the game is straight away. I was going to do likability, that was what I was doing. Premise of the game. Now, I like where this is coming from. You're a lone survivor, town, and it did have an old military camp, so it must have been overrun. It is you versus the world in a zombie apocalypse, and this is not always true. Granted, this is why the game has online multiplayer, so it can either be solo versus the world, or straight up you have a couple of friends and you decide to play this game. So for premise, I'm going to have to give this a 3. So next is I was doing likability, then I got distracted with premise, so it's a 3-star for premise. Likability, I would have to give this a 4 stars for likability. It's very likable, but there are some games I would rather play than this. So, I mean, this game has its ups and downs. Like, the zombie spawns, those are what I consider to be a down because they're random. They're completely random. So you could be by yourself, wave starts, you're in a building, you're in a corner, and all of a sudden 50 of them come in, and that's that. So 4, 3.5, 7, 5, 12.5, 3, 15.5 out of 16. So that's about, let me climb to the top of a building after pausing, and I'm going to do those calculations. Okay, so I did some calculations, and what I got was each game got about 4 stars, but I will put the number up at the top of the screen so that way you guys believe me. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this game review. I hope this helped guide your opinion on the game a little bit, no matter if it was for or against, I don't care. If you guys like what we do here at Game World, please subscribe, Have yourselves a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching this video, and bye-bye!
What?
What do you want your name on the YouTube video to be?
Same name I always have.
So, you're fine being called out?
Yeah.
Alright. Yay, I did not take any fall damage. And sorry if there's a